Hiya, pals. Hi, pals, and welcome to the Disneyland Paris Show. Here's your hosts, Lucy, Chris, and Hugh. Gosh. And now, Disneyland Paris News.
New travel restrictions announced by both French and UK governments cast new level of doubt over Disneyland Paris's February opening.
Unseen by guests, Disneyland Paris lies under a blanket of snow this week.
Disneyland California announces it is sunsetting its annual pass program effective immediately, causing Paris fans to fear for the future of their own annual passes.
Sunsetting. That's a term Disney likes to use.
And
That's
grandfathering, sunsetting and grandfathering.
Grandfathering, I've not heard that one.
Cancelling a TV series, it gets sunsetted.
Grandfathering's kind of, it's actually a good thing. It's where they take away a perk, but because you've bought into the perk early, you get to keep the perk. Like,
Nice.
You know, I mean, people who bought annual passes 20 years ago can still access certain things that other people can't. But sunsetting is a posh way of saying,
Get rid of it.
Now, in actual fact, we appear to be addressing this one first, don't we? Shall I continue on with my spiel? What they've said, basically, is it's not that annual passes are going away entirely. Tokyo have taken them away entirely for the time being. It's that they're going to be replaced by other options of passes, I think they said, or something like that. So they're going to come back, but they're going to be reconfigured and restructured to work. And the rumor is that they've been wanting to do this for a long time, but it's very hard to do something with something where lots of people already own the thing. And so they're taking this sort of COVID opportunity to cut it dead. They've been very good. They're giving everyone full refunds for the length of time remaining on the passes, and they're just starting from scratch again.
Cool.
So a lot of people online were well, not a lot of people, but I saw rumblings of, are Paris going to do the same thing? I personally doubt it. I think that if they're trying some brand new business model for annual passes, they will try it out in California first, see if it works, and then we might get it several years down the line if it does work. I don't
In
think
some other not quite as technological kind of way.
yeah. You'll all have to bring a little like punching card, like that, like from the 70s. But also the other reason they're doing it is there's over 1 million pass holders that live within a 3-hour drive of Disney or something.
Yeah.
So if they reopen, everyone would just go, yay, we're going. And they couldn't keep the 25% capacity. Whereas Paris was open for a long period of time and it wasn't even reaching its 25% capacity.
And in general, it's better for people because annual pass holders in the States, they crowd out the park. You know, there's this thing about like the sort of considering people are having once in a lifetime holidays now, so they're not getting crowded out anymore. But then it also means we watch a lot of vloggers who go like, you know, several times a week, and there'll be none of that.
Oh yeah,
I bet certain vloggers will be in like I reckon.
They'll move to Florida.
Tim from the Tim Tracker. If they cancelled it there, they would they'd probably just cut a deal with him where they let him.
Maybe,
in, I bet.
Yeah. They don't see it going forward in Florida either for similar reasons that I've just said about Paris, but it's more complicated because there's 4 parks to spread the pass holders over and all. And
Mark with a Q in the chat. He says Mark with a Q. He says they're sunrising other membership options.
Yes.
Sunrising.
That's what they do. That's a lovely way of putting it. You should work for their marketing team.
I noticed there was a lot of chat on Twitter from cast members who were really quite pleased about the fact that this was happening, because they say that a lot of the annual pass holders in California, there's a sense of entitlement and things, and it's not very nice.
I'll bet.
So there's definitely some people who are very pleased about this situation.
Yeah, I think it's very different in Paris because most people who buy annual passes in Paris that don't live in the Paris metropolitan area, the people like us who think, oh, that means we can have 2 holidays this year. That's what people are thinking. It's not. You just don't get those people who go daily or weekly. But it's genuinely like overprivileged teenagers use it as a weekend hangout. The way other people go to the mall, they get annual passes and go there, particularly in California, a lot more than Florida. So I can see how...
I
can see how cast members can be relieved, but I can see if you are a real Disney diehard and you've supported the companies for years and years and years, and you live in California, you'd feel a bit shortchanged. I guess everyone just has to wait to see what replaces it, basically.
Yeah, precisely.
What terms it is. But the snow.
Yeah. Do you know what? I love pictures of Disneyland Paris when it's been snowing are just beautiful. But as someone who visited the village 2 years ago, just after snow, walked around it when it was just slush. It's pretty darn horrible when it gets towards the end of it.
Yeah.
That's like snow in general, though. It's nice.
Well, yeah, it is. Yay, snow day. Oh,
4 more days of sludge and ice.
Precisely, precisely.
It's sad to think of it being closed, and we're doing this show with a closed part, but I have to say, when I realised that it was currently under snow, I'd got a little warm in my heart, because that means there'll be a Main Street photograph with no footprints going down it. Not just one taken early in the morning, but can you imagine being allowed in that park right now?
Or if you're from Hull, Snur.
Snur.
Oh no, John Snur. So that I'm sure there will be some beautiful pictures coming out from maintenance staff and things. We hope.
I hope so. Yeah, that'd be nice. Yeah.
But we won't know because of the new travel restrictions that have been announced.
Nice segue.
We don't know how long these are going on. But it's looking less and less likely from it was Valentine's Day weekend, wasn't it? I think it might have been the 13th, but I've got the 14th in my head because it's Valentine's Day. That it's meant to be reopening. I think a lot of Paris's travel restrictions are like local, from, if we're using British words, from county to county. I don't know what that, from region to region. I'm not sure what their words are for that. But the UK government has stopped some travel corridors, and we've got the lurgy in this country because we've got the new variants and nobody likes us. No,
we're hated.
So just got to wait and see. But the pressure's off for our team because Chris has moved his March holiday.
I have. It's done, as we talked about last week.
2024.
Fingers crossed things might be a little bit better by then.
To celebrate your 60th birthday.
How old do you think I am?
I didn't mean in 2024. I was making a joke on, because you're 21 now. So I was like in 39.
Only just 21.
Is that you banging, or is it the child?
Might be the child.
Oh dear.
Our friend Christopher celebrated his 21st birthday this week.
Double it,
Chris?
Double it.
Yeah. All right.
It's my second 21st birthday.
Second 21st birthday. So the power of 2.
Yeah.
And what did you receive? I can see some goodies.
I got all kinds of things, but here's some goodies that I got.
Banging. I'll be back in a minute.
Okay.
Here we go. So I received a couple of books. I mean, I've got some other things as well. So I've got a new light. So I'm still working out how to use it, which is why if I look at the camera, it's kind of like Captain Scarlet and the Mysterons, and my eyes all glow up. So I'm kind of looking down at my screen at the moment. I'll get this better over time. Is it
one of those ring lights that the beauty bloggers have? Oh,
yeah, but I need to move it up a bit and angle it down.
Lipstick.
Yeah, that's it.
I need eyeliner tips.
I got this Donald, which I've got to say, I really like these Lego brickheads. I absolutely love them. Brickheads. We've got quite a lot of them now, and in fact, so many that Laura says we're not allowed to have anymore. But there are a few that I think I still need. So yeah, so there's him, and then I've got this nice book called Walt Disney World That Never Was, which is another theme park press book, which is it's pretty good so far what I've read of it. But it's rides that were never made. And hotels that were never built and stuff like that. So it's really quite interesting.
She's
and then
I've got sleep, by the way.
Is she?
Is it our poltergeist?
She might have been rolling around, maybe. I don't know.
I wonder if it was me.
Woody or Jessie. They like to move around, don't they, when Bonnie's asleep?
do.
And Bullseye.
We help them along. Yeah.
So then I got this. I also got this this Tash and Mickey Mouse book. So it's another one of the 40th anniversary ones, like the Star Wars one that I got for you for Christmas, Hugh.
Yeah.
So I've got the Star Wars one as well coming. It's in the post to me, which means I've now got Star Wars, Mickey Mouse, and the Walt Disney animated films, whatever it's called, the Walt Disney Film Archive.
They look like a nice couple of books there.
They do.
Good, yeah, they're really good.
Have you seen his Donald Brickhead?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, let me show you it quickly anyway. There you go. Ooh, it's kind of.
Because I've got a couple of Brickheads. Neither of them are Disney. I absolutely love them. You know, I love Lego, and it's one of those things where I'm going to either commit to just I'm going to end up buying all of these now or not. You know, I can't decide whether I want to plunge into that world or not.
Mark the case says Lego is for winners.
Yes, it is. You're absolutely right. Now. A couple of other things have happened over my birthday weekend, which have been quite cool. Firstly, thank you to everybody who's watched my book review. One of the people who's watched my book review is the author, which is kind of exciting. And he sent an email to me, to us,
and he said,
last night.
How dare you?
Yeah. I cannot believe you said that about the spine of my book, he said. He was very complimentary of the review and really pleased to have received it. He's told me, I don't know whether I'm supposed to tell you this, that he's in the process of writing a third book, which is quite exciting. And also that he has a series of 10 to 12 books that he wants to write about different rides in the park. So all sorts of stuff to come now, which is quite cool.
Has he told you what the third book is to be?
He has, but I haven't verified with him whether I should mention it. So I'm going to hold back a little bit.
What's the second one?
The second one's Frontierland. No, the second one's Frontierland and Big Thunder Mountain.
Okay, maybe he's moving around, so maybe it could be pirates.
I imagine it'll be quite an adventure, from what I've learnt about it.
Yeah, all speculation.
Yeah, all speculation.
Cryptic.
The other interesting thing that happened was, and Lucy, this is your show as far as I'm concerned, so you can tell me whether we're allowed to do this or not. But Bob Sangwell,
you're going to keep your clothes on, aren't you?
I am. Bob Sangwell, listener, viewer, whatever you call him, Bob Sangwell, owner of his own jingle, has sent in a brain teaser. In fact, he sent me a couple, but I said, we'll do one and see how it goes, Bob. So if you're happy, I'll play it. It's about 30 seconds. Then you can chuck your answers into the chat and all that sort of stuff. And then towards the end of the show, we can play his answers.
Okay.
Does that sound good? Shall I do it?
Yeah, hit it.
We just have to twiddle our thumbs, so the visuals aren't going to be great right now, but here you go.
How pleasant, bobbing along with Bob Sangwell on 37 Disney Street.
Hi everybody, it's Bob here. I've got a quick question for you about Disney duos. Can you give me the names of these Disney duos? Cinderella's stepsisters, Ursula's eel henchmen, and the Gabble sisters from the Aristocats. Bonus point if you can think of the other goose from the Aristocats.
Tough questions.
I think I've got them.
I've got the second one, but that's it, I think.
There you go. So if you know the answers, bang them in the chat, and we'll play them at the end when Lucy says I'm allowed to. I've done interrupting now.
This is a good. I know I'm all on my geek mode. I'm writing down the answers. This is a good segue to say that after this, we're going to be recording our new quiz show, our new series for quiz show. We did one exclusively for our Patreons last year, and now we're launching a series of 10 episodes for everybody to enjoy on the YouTube.
Yeah, I'm quite excited about it.
Yeah,
mildly.
But for now, should we talk about the main filling of this sandwich?
Oh, I like that. Yeah,
which is travel.
Just as all these restrictions have been announced, let's talk about travel.
And we're going to keep it fun.
Yeah.
Because think about travel, you're like, oh, what? And travel, like when I watch a vlog and it shows someone's journey to the park, I'm not interested.
Mm-hmm.
I'll enjoy maybe a single shot outside of the window of a plane or driving up to the park. But if someone's in an airport, I get a bit bored. So we're going to try and keep it fun, is what I'm saying.
You can tell everyone about Lille and other favourite places.
The thinking behind this, right, is, and he's just said he can make it fun and I'll make it boring because that's how our married life goes.
Nice.
Booking Disneyland Paris holidays is one of my favourite things to do. And then 50% of my budget gets eaten up by blooming travel, which is the most boring and tedious bit of it. But everybody has to do it. You all have to do it to get there. And those are the big options. You all know you want to go to Disneyland Paris. You know that. Big question, how are you going to get there?
And it really is a case of like all the pros outweigh cons for the other thing. And, you know, it really is like at the end of the day, it's like, what do you sacrifice? Convenience, money. Is that it? Convenience and money?
Yeah.
Speed.
Storage space.
Yeah.
Yes. Convenience, money, speed, storage space. You have to sacrifice one to do the other.
And yeah, and you can't get a balance of everything where you go, well, obviously that. Because, you know, the one that's most convenient and luxurious and quickest is the most expensive. So it's you know, it's a weighing up game. It's a weighing up game.
So
is that a good sentence?
I've got it down to 4 basic modes of transport, and this afternoon I priced them all up for a stay going from the 1st of August to the 4th of August.
Right.
So I just thought keep the same dates for everything. I didn't delve to try find deals. I just went on, saw what the basic price was. Now some of these have surprised me because I've priced up all of these numerous times, and I think the pandemic has made a big difference in a couple of cases, which I will come to. Okay. I'm going to start with the Eurotunnel from Kent. Okay,
let's.
Okay, right. This seemed the most kind of true to form price wise. On those dates I said it's £137 pounds for the crossing, both there and back. And then you've got to drive. That depends where in the country you are. We prefer a hotel in Kent. You've done it without, haven't you?
Yeah, we would generally go down, and we've stopped on the other side before. But actually, to be fair, the first time we went, we drove about an hour into France, and we stopped overnight. The second time we went, we were already in Sussex, so we were only an hour and a half away from Ashford anyway, so it didn't really make that much of a difference.
You had family, didn't you?
Family, yeah.
So we're obviously coming from the north of England. I don't know where you people who are listening are coming from, so that makes a big difference to us because it's a 4.5 hour drive to Kent, and I'm done. I'm the only driver in the family, and I'm done by then. I can't do 8-hour drives. I don't know how Americans do it, but that's it. So we have the price of the hotel on top of that.
And Lucy does all the driving because I don't drive.
Yeah. So it's 2 extra hotel nights. So it's a really long way. It's 2 extra hotel nights to pay for. On the face of it, it's the cheapest. On the face of it, because of the crossing is the cheapest. But obviously, paying for 2 nights in a hotel, sacrifice of time. What are the pros, though?
Just cheap.
Big boot. Put your stuff in.
I think having a car is a massive pro.
You
of souvenirs.
You don't have to sit in an airport and wait for your flight.
That it's very proactive. You don't
without being funny. We've talked before about flying's great. If you could just get on a plane, get off a plane, you're there. Fantastic. But it's never that simple, is it? And by the time you've driven an hour and a half, depending on the airport, to your airport, waited an hour in the airport, 2 hours in the airport, flown for an hour, spent 40 minutes getting out of the airport, waited for your luggage, maybe another hour. Then you got to get your connection. Yes, it's still quicker, but it's not. It's not relaxing, is it?
Well, let's go on to flying then, Chris.
The last time we flew, we went to Robin Hood Airport, and I didn't realise it was that close. It was about an hour away, an hour and 15, maybe.
Less. 45 minutes,
45 minutes.
Yeah,
away.
It's not too far. Yeah.
And it's a nice little dinky airport. We got through pretty quickly. The flight was supposed to be an hour and a half, but we got there in an hour.
Right.
I don't understand how it was, a third quicker.
It's to do with air traffic control and stuff, isn't it? Sometimes it can just get you it. Yeah.
The only hold up at the other end was, first of all, and here's a tip: if you're taking a pushchair with you, don't be stood by the baggage carousel like we were. Before you notice a big sign that says
oversized baggage.
Go over this way for your pushchairs and your large baggage. So we did that, and that was after a family was also waiting for theirs. And this is the one instance, I've said this before on the show, where we were the adults and someone came to us and said, "Oh, are you waiting for a pushchair?" I said, "Yeah." "Oh, well, actually, we've just noticed there's a sign, follow us." And then after we'd sorted that out, they came back to us and they said, "Are you getting the coach?" And we were like, "No, sorry, we're getting a taxi." So
he was a lovely fella, but it was a bit like, "Are you going to Disneyland too? Would you take us with us?"
I think it was the first. It seemed like it was their first trip.
Yeah.
Like they were looking for an adult to help them.
Yeah.
And that was us. They're probably the same age as us, but actually they probably weren't, because
they were nice.
I think everyone's older than me when they're clearly like 31.
I've not got to adulthood yet.
But anyway, the flight for me last time was pretty quick. But I know what you mean, Chris. It can be an ordeal.
The last time I flew to Charles de Gaulle, it was absolutely fine. It wasn't a bad flight at all. It was reasonably okay time-wise. I've got very used to, because mostly I fly for work, and I've got very used to traveling light, so it's nice and easy to go through check-in. Don't tend to take a big bag. If you're with your family, and like you say, you've got pushchairs and things, suddenly it adds on loads of time. I hate waiting for luggage at the other end. But the big thing I'll say about last time I went to Charles de Gaulle was it was this time of year, and it snowed when I arrived in Paris, and my flight back was cancelled, and there was no sign of any flights going anywhere, and I had to get home. So I was then forced to find a way, which luckily I managed to get a ticket on a Eurostar to get me home.
Right.
Wow.
So that was fun.
Is that screen smudgy?
Looks all right to me.
Screen's a little smudgy.
It's like you're about to do a magic trick. I felt like
this is for you, for what you can see.
Yeah, for the audio listeners, I'm just wiping the camera on the iPad.
I flew for... Oh, you've moved it now.
I know I have. I'll sort it.
I flew for Run Disney, and it was great because I was on my own, and no way would I have driven in any way whatsoever. So I flew, I did hand luggage, and I read my book in the airport. So it didn't feel arduous, like, you know, when you've got a family and children and lots of things to deal with. There back, it was fab. It was just absolutely fine and fab. And it was also, I managed to set off Friday morning, have an afternoon in the park and do all my Run Disney. You have to register and stuff on Friday. Yeah. I ran a race on Friday night, ran a race on Saturday, ran a race on Sunday, and got back home on Sunday night. Now, there's no other travel options in which I could have done that.
No,
because of the speed of going there. I also, the next thing I want to talk about with flying there is you have to get from the airport to your hotel. There is a high-speed train, which is astronomically expensive for what it is. Because we're talking like, I think it's a 7-minute journey on this high-speed train.
And it's €98.
I think
I made that up.
Off the top of my head, I think it's €25 each way, but that's €50 for 14 minutes.
For basically a trip to Leeds.
Yeah, and also it's like, you know, the high-speed train. Well, if you've been on them anywhere in the world, the high-speed trains tend to have like 200 carriages. Well, I couldn't find my carriage, so I couldn't find my seat. So I was stood up in a corridor, wedged between like a million cases like this for that €25 as well. So I'm sure I would have found a massive, big reclining seat if I'd got to it, but I didn't. So it was really overpriced. When we went as a family, it wasn't an option to pay that ×3. And we priced up, I don't know what the French version of the Magical Express is. Is it the Magical Shuttle or something? Anyway.
Le Shuttle Magique.
Yeah, whatever. Somebody's going to tell me now. I'm going to feel really dumb, but I've never got it. And it worked out about the same as getting a private transfer. So we got a private transfer, and we got one where you could book a return, and it was €110, which is, it just feels like a lot on top that you've already paid for your transport.
I got in the driver's seat on the as we're getting on the way back. I got in the driver's seat
thinking it was the passenger seat
because I'm used to getting in the passenger seat, and it was like, what are you doing? Oh, sorry.
But
I want to do some chat.
Go on, do some chat
in a second.
All right, I'll just finish this off.
Just put a pin in you, guys.
This is one of the prices that surprised me. That price I just quoted you for euros, for Eurotunnel sounds about right. That's what it usually is about that. I've had it for less even. I've had it for
Yeah,
about
I've had it for less than
£100. But it seemed average.
Yeah.
But I managed to get flights for 3 people from Manchester to Charles de Gaulle for £140 today. That's including one bag. If we didn't want bags, it would have been £99 each. Now I'm thinking, could we manage 3 days on 3 lots of hand luggage? We probably could if we had to. And it was summer and you weren't packing big coats. So
It depends on whether you want to bound or not, doesn't it? If you're bounding,
Exactly.
you have to take more stuff,
if you've got 4 different handbags to match your outfits.
If you can do with your underpants what he does in Big Hero 6, I wear them front, I wear them back. What is it? I turn them inside out, I wear them front and back.
Yeah, there you go. But you have to add on to that some way of getting to the parks.
Yeah.
But it's quick. Oh, and also if you're going to park at the airport or you're going to get a taxi from your house to the airport, all these things add up. And I've had to do it many times in the past, and it's never been as cheap as the other options.
No.
The flight is the one I recommend personally, but it's going to be different for everybody, obviously. We've had some ideas in the chat. Andrew Palmer, he says, time for me is the most important. So flying is quicker and less tiring. You can't stand days on holiday recovering from a long journey. Or you can use that to like in your favor. Like if you go the other way, if you go across the Atlantic and you're up at 5-6 a.m. ready to go, it's brilliant.
Yeah, true.
Mark with a Q, he's got 3 options. Back of a shellfish truck. Option 2 is inflatable decathlon kayak.
Okay.
3 is hitch a ride in a wealthy Tory friend's helicopter. And Mark,
I am proud to say I don't have any wealthy Tory friends.
No. Mark with a K will always be Eurostar for us. Perk of being a train driver. I get discount on tickets.
Oh, Mark. Gels. Let's zip on to the Eurostar then. Nice segue. Thank you, Mark. This is my personal transport of choice. We
don't do this much, do we?
We've done it a total of 4 times, I think, if you include the trips that were pre-Bonnie. We've done it twice with Bonnie and twice without Bonnie. But it's the loveliest thing is, well, just train. I just like train travel. I love train travel. And it's just nice getting off the train and being in Disneyland in the middle. No ifs, no buts, no fuss. If you're staying in a Disneyland hotel, you can take your suitcases up to the top floor and they'll take them to the hotel for you. One time we did this, we were actually staying. Oh no, we flew when we stayed off site, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not bothered about that, it's also, if you just want to go straight to your hotel anyway, you can just wheel them through the village. It is a fabulous arrival experience. You're just off, walk out the doors and you can see the world of Disney. And I cry. When I see Tinkerbell on the top, I cry every time.
The thing is, though, on the way back, it's the opposite experience. So I won't swear, but I always say, like, once you pass through those gates, everything turns to...
Well, the magic dies.
Everything turns to poo. And, like, you go in there and you're so used to, like, you know, even in Paris, the service in the park is, you know, much different. So you go into the train station at Disneyland and it's immediately like people will just look at you like if you ask for like directions, they'll be really off with you. And then we got on a train and it's weird. You get given like 10-15 minutes notice, don't you? Like you wait for the platform and then they tell you like sort of last minute and you rush down and my God, all hell broke loose. And normally you get someone trying to help people on. This guy was walking up and down the platform, and when the doors opened, it was a wall of suitcases, and we really
literally just
we were struggling to get on. Like one English person just looked at us and went, "Sorry." We managed to get on somehow, but
Bonnie was about 2, and another person I had to pass her over. But it were like things you see in India.
It just sounds like a tube. To me, it just sounds like being in London on a working day.
There's a guy walking up and down the platform, and he was literally going, "Hurry up, hurry up!"
Yeah,
like, oh, thanks, mate.
It was incredibly stressful. The French.
That wasn't Eurostar though. That was the was it TGR?
Yeah, the TGR to get to Leeds. We've done it direct there. we often did Sunday to Thursday, and it doesn't run direct on a Thursday.
I was going to say that's one of the downsides, isn't it? If you want the direct train, you have to travel on set days.
I know you can get Sunday and Wednesday, and I think you do Saturday as well. But yeah, it's just certain it's not on a Thursday, so we've gone direct there, but then I had to get indirect back. We've also done indirect both ways.
It's just a quick change at Lille normally.
Yeah,
it's very straightforward. But the only thing is, I mean, any change or any way, it's a bit of a downer. But it's it's the worst station. There must be a nice bit we haven't seen, because even when we've had to wait upstairs for like an hour or an hour and a half or whatever, it's been horrible. But the platform you go on, it's just like a concrete, not a tube, but like a square tube, whatever, like a tunnel. It's a concrete tunnel, and it's horrible and grey and cold, and it's miserable.
It really is grim. I'll say it's a means to an end. It was a really long wait when we went indirect last time. Really long wait, and it was arduous and grim and like that. We drive to London, which is about 3.25 hours from where we are. We park outside London. We get the tube in, and that is arduous. If people say no expense spared, what would you do? Personally, I would get the train down to London, and I would get the Eurostar to Paris, because that would be my favourite experience.
We haven't done that, have we?
No, because the train to London is more expensive than the Eurostar.
So we
almost
ridiculous,
without
isn't
exception.
it? The cost of train from Leeds to King's Cross is just ludicrous most of the time.
Like I say, we often go on a Sunday, because I work Saturdays, and we can't get there in time, because the direct Eurostar is 10:10, I think.
Yeah.
And we can't get from Leeds to King's Cross early enough on a Sunday.
Yeah.
And here's a good tip if you don't know about it. I think a lot of people do. What we often do is go to the outskirts of London, and
I just said that.
Did you?
Yeah.
All right. I think I was looking.
But I
say it again. We'll all pretend that you
didn't.
You didn't say it. Go on, say it.
We
We'll
do
pretend you didn't.
Parkonmydrive.com. Oh, it's another service we've used before, isn't it? Like,
There's a couple that you could do it.
Yeah.
Park on my drive.
It's like £14 for a weekend or something.
Yeah, if you look at what's the NCP, if you look at an NCP car park anywhere near London, not even in the centre, but you're talking like £150 for 4 days parking. But we get it for like £15 for however long we're there. It's
perfect,
great,
isn't it?
Yeah, it's perfect.
Mark Riley in the chat says, "Is Hull an option?"
Here we go. Oh, he's like my Debbie McKee, isn't he? He's always pulling me where I want to go next. This is it's not my second favourite, because I agree with you on flying, but this is one of the good options for us, in that you can get the ferry from Hull to Zeebrugge, and then it is pretty much, give or take 10 minutes, the same driving time from Zeebrugge to Paris as it is from Calais to Paris. Because we always get a hotel in Kent, this is basically our overnight stay is on the boat. So you get the 12-hour ferry ride, and you get a cabin. So that's the overnight stay. And for us, it's only an hour drive. It's bang on 60 minutes. We both went to university in Hull, so we know it well. It's bang on a 60-minute drive to get to Hull. And that is just really easy. And I can go straight from work on a Saturday, straight onto a boat.
And it's novel for children as well.
It is.
Sleeping in a cabin on a boat.
It's a really good start to your holiday. The food is really, really good. We like to get the carvery, and there's nice coffee shops and stuff like that.
Forgot about that.
Little shops to mill around. I absolutely love doing that. Now, that is expensive. However, you do save on hotel stays, which all the others include, except flying, and you save on the transfers for flying because you're driving, and you get the big car. Now, I priced this up today, and I was not surprised to see that they're not currently booking Hull to Zeebrugge at all, not even for August. I think that'll come back eventually, but this is pandemic time. They were booking Hull to Rotterdam, but it was £627 for a return. And I know for a fact that's not what it was when I booked it. From memory, I'd say it was close to sort of in the 400 mark, I think between 350 and 400. So it is definitely, on the face of it, the most expensive option. But when you take, there's no added extras other than petrol. There's no hotel stays. It actually comes very even. And as far as a driving option, it's my favourite driving option.
You see, Laura really doesn't like boats, so that in itself kind of turns that off. Fine. I don't think any of us would sleep particularly well. The driving's always going to be my main option, because when I was a kid, that's what I was used to doing. Our holidays were all drive down to Calais, get on a boat.
You drove as a kid?
Yeah, regularly.
We did. We drove all around France when I was a kid. We used to have a camper tent.
Yeah.
And just we went all over the place.
We drove down as far as Italy, so we did a lot of that when we were kids. So to me, being in a car to go somewhere just seems like the norm, and I'm kind of instilling that in our kids as well now. So. It's
not that I mind it. I mind 8-hour drives, but I don't mind 4.5-hour drives, and I quite enjoy them to an extent. We get podcasts on. We have a natter.
Exactly.
It's great. But it's the time thing. If you've got a certain amount of time off work and you're like, we've got 5 days, we're going to Disney, you're talking a whole day and a half and a whole day back because of the overnight and the coming and the going. I'm like, I'd rather be in Disney.
Yeah, I mean, I guess every time we've come back, we've done the full journey in one, and this is the thing, isn't it? Because there's 2 of us driving, we can split the driving. So I'll drive for a couple of hours, Laura will drive for a couple of hours, we'll have a break for an hour or whatever, and so we just keep soldiering on and going until we get back. So we could, and we've like left just after lunchtime and been home by like 10 o'clock at night, which isn't really that bad all in all.
No, that's all right.
Yeah.
I will actually just do a rundown of the route.
Ooh.
I know that sounds a bit boring, but the thing is, I've heard people on other podcasts who've said, it's an absolute doddle. Now, I don't want to scare anybody, but if you're thinking of going, it's not quite the doddle you think it is, right? Basically, at Calais, you fed onto the A26 really easy. Yeah. There is another way you can go. I can't remember the motorway, but the most direct one for us, we think, is you funneled onto the A26 once you get off the ferry. That turns into the A1. That takes you past down the side of Paris and Charles de Gaulle.
Yeah.
Once you hit Parc Asterix, that you get in there. You're 2/3 of the way there, maybe a bit more. And then you merge with onto the A104. Is that right? And then the final stage is the A4, and then you can just follow the signs. That's pretty dry. But the thing is, when we first went, because I was navigating, I was a bit nervous about it. So, and I would recommend this because the other times we've been, I haven't been as prepared, and we've got a little bit caught out. It is easy to get a little bit confused with turn-offs, and also once you leave at a junction, sometimes you have to really quickly switch lanes. So what I normally do is I will like screen grab the junction, and also like it's worth just like going through on. Yes, you can use your sat nav. Of course,
we don't use sat nav.
No, we do use sat navs now. We use it more and more. But even sat navs, sometimes it's not as fast as you need it to be. It doesn't have enough notice.
Or it loses the signal for a minute, and you don't have a flipping clue. Yeah, I know.
I'll screen grab the important bits, and also like I'll look for like landmarks. Like there's a massive IKEA building on the left, and at that point you're getting towards a bit where you need to be ready. Just to help you visualize where you're going. Do the route on, not the whole route.
On Google Maps.
Just do the last bit on Google Maps so you know exactly where you're going.
I do that as well.
Last time we actually took a wrong turn and we had to go one more junction down the A4, which wasn't a big deal. They go up a roundabout, go over the bridge, go down another roundabout, and then go back. It added about 6 minutes onto the journey. But
as a driver, there's something I'd like to add in there, and they do this in the UK as well, but they seem to do it on every single junction in France, that the lane you're in just becomes the junction. So if you're on the outside lane and a junction's coming up, you can all of a sudden find yourself not on the motorway, and you didn't intend that to happen. So I do drive in the slow lane a lot. It's it's my personality, man. You know, I'm chilled. You've got to be very aware. If you see signposts, keep moving back into that middle lane because you're just going to get peeled off. That's the first thing. I would say for a good 2.5 hours, you've very few decisions to make. It's just a motorway and you sit in it. And I like that, like I say. But the last half hour is very urban. It gets very busy. And there's lots of getting in the right lane at the right time. So that does get a little hairier the last 20 minutes.
You're absolutely right. And I do think northern France really lulls you into a false sense of security because it is always quiet. And you know, you mentioned that there's two different ways you can go. The first time we went the other way, and it's even quieter. It was just dead. We didn't see any cars at all.
Tolls as well. This used to terrify me. I'd have the exact change ready. Like basically, if you haven't done it, after like a good while, I can't remember how long it is. Suddenly, the road completely opens out into more lanes, and then you pick a what do you call it?
Booth.
Turnstile, but yeah, booth. And then you press a button, you get the ticket, off you go. And then when you go through the second booth, like hours later, wherever it is, easiest thing to do is pop your card in, but make sure you've told your bank you're using your card abroad.
Well, they do contactless as well now, don't they? So
they do
contactless, yeah.
Revolut as well.
I think I tried Revolut last time as well, and that worked, and my bank card works.
This is something we need to do a show on as well, is Revolut. Well, not a whole show. I'll just tell you it's brilliant, but I want to sell Revolut.
Go on, Chris.
Don't forget to pay for the Dartford crossing before you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before you go. I do it at the hotel. After we've passed it, you get, is it 24 hours to pay it?
Yeah.
So at that point, I paid the return.
When we're in Ashford, it's paid there.
Yeah. Well, but there's massive signs, so you're unlikely to forget to do that.
Laura used to work for the debt collecting people who collected for people who hadn't paid for it, basically. And there's a lot of people just forget about it, or you miss it because it's so easy because you don't just chuck your money in like you used to do. So just don't forget. It does tell you, and you've got time.
Yeah. It does keep telling you, but it's so like, I mean, Hugh deals with that because I do the driving. It's division of labour. He deals with everything else when it comes to transport. You know, he's keeping an eye on
the right. It's his turn.
Yeah.
I'm periphery.
And honestly, I don't even see those signs about the tolls because I'm just doing my thing and looking at the traffic. And I can imagine if you're on your own.
Sometimes it just smashes through the barrier. But like, I'm the kind of person who gets, because that's my job. I'll get a bit like worked up about it, and like I'll get a sense of dread once I see the booths coming towards us out of the mist. I'm like, oh god, right, I'm ready. It's a doddle. Never mind. Get a ticket on the other side, wang your card up, hold it up there, contactless, easy. I think I have done it with cash once. My friend once got caught out there, and he didn't have the exact change, and this guy pulled up behind him, and he was English as well, and he went, mate, what do you need? And he turned around and he went, just €1, mate. And he chucked him €1. He flicked it at him and was like, cheers. And off they went. But
I love how anxious you get about the booths. Not like forget about the fact that Lucy's driving on a 3-lane road that suddenly turns into a 40-lane road, and you have to work out what you're doing. And then after it really quickly just goes bang back into 3 lanes.
It's because I've got nothing else to think about.
Yeah.
And we rolled over some sunglasses last time, didn't we? We were like, what was that? We heard a scraping noise, and I looked out and I was like, oh, it's okay. It's just somebody's sunglasses.
I lost a hubcap in France as well, went over a massive plateau, and we hear it go.
I think I know where it was because I remember going over a bump and then the hubcap was gone when we get, but right. This is how we got caught out in Lille, right? So I can't remember the motorway.
Oh, this is awful. This is the worst day of my life.
I can't remember the motorway. I'm not sure if it was still on the A1 or whatever. I think it was a different motorway. But all of a sudden, it split into 2. And above both parts that branched off, it said the same thing. So we were like, I was like, go into the right one. And before you knew it, we were... I was like, oh no, this is wrong. And then I was like, oh no, this road will take us through Lille and get on the other side. And then we got stuck in a loop. It was smacking it down with it was babbing it down with rain.
You know when your windscreen wipers are going on the double and they're not getting rid of it?
We tried
one-way system, no phone batteries.
And it's a miserable looking place. Well, it was then. And we tried several times to get onto a motorway. At one point we were on the wrong motorway and we were getting panicky. and no internet on the phones. And by chance, I restarted my phone after about half an hour of like just being like, what do we do? What do we do? And my internet kicked in. I was like, oh my God, we've got internet. And we got to the ferry. This is for the ferry. And they said, you're very late.
And they'd held it for us.
Well, no. The ferry wasn't late, but they normally shut the door like an hour before we'd arrived. But they kept the door open, and we basically had to park up with the lorries and the coaches.
And as we pulled in the coach bay,
they shut the door behind us.
Well, you know, they have like the double decker thing, and the cars usually go up top. That had gone, so we pulled up behind the thing, and as we could see in the rear view mirror, the door closing. They'd kept the door open for us.
But anyway, the point is, because I get nervous about this, don't be nervous. Don't let me scare you, but do be prepared. I won't say it's a doddle like some people say it is. Even if you've done it a few times like we have, you can still get a bit caught out. Just be prepared. Do a little bit of, research before, and just check your junctions and your lanes, and you'll be all right.
I'm gonna grab hold of this episode now, because we're going off a bit. I'm gonna say one thing, and then I'm gonna move on to a summary. If you are traveling within the next year, make sure you check your paperwork for your coronavirus thing, because when we came back in July, we kind of got stuck at the Eurotunnel. Was it Eurotunnel? The Eurotunnel terminal, and we hadn't filled in the right forms to say we're coming back. That was all on us. Just make sure they send you text messages.
Lucy had been ignoring text messages.
Yeah, I just thought it was reminding. They send you text messages to remind you what time your train is. I just thought it was those, so I hadn't actually opened them and read them. That may or may not be in place next time you go.
Might be worse. Don't have any ham sandwiches with you.
I'm just warning you. Right, what I want to do now. Oh, there's one more option that we're not really going to talk about, but I'll touch on it quickly.
Walking, that's why.
You can get the ferry from Dover to Calais if you want to. It's about £50 more expensive than the tunnel. It's about half an hour longer. You get to have a sandwich. Minutes, isn't it? Yeah, you get to have a sandwich when you're on board.
We do have a question.
Go on then.
Well, Mark Chester, first of all, he accidentally turned into Charles de Gaulle Airport and spent an hour trying to get back out again. That sounds like what happened to us in Lyon.
That's really spidering roads around there, I can imagine.
But Mark, with a Q, is asking, if you were to do a last-minute solo quick visit, assuming DLP is open and you can go without quarantine, would you fly and stay at a DLP hotel or train and sleep on that?
Do you know what? When I realised how cheap the flights were today, when I looked at them, I was like, "Ooh, it's £33 for one person there and back." I thought I could go on my own and do a solo trip. Ooh, and I would fly and stay in a hotel, because for a single person, it's cheaper to fly. As a family, all the other options are cheaper, except maybe the train. One
more question. From Mark Chester, the booking DLP for December. What website would you recommend? Do you got any website recommends?
You do Magical Breaks, but I've always done it DIY, and I do the Disneyland. I do the Disneyland Paris website, and I book the packages direct from them.
And Magic Breaks are a reseller, so what you're getting is effectively the same anyway. I think the reason we used Magic Breaks the first time was because I couldn't find the way to pay in installments any other way, and that's what I did. And then because I've used it once, I've just always gone with what they've got. But
you have to ring up, and I think it's £150 deposit, and then you can pay the rest 30 days before, I think. And so I've done that before, but I've just priced it up myself, and then I ring up and I tell them that since we've had annual passes, I book our hotels on Expedia. I book Disney hotels. They're really good with cancellations. I've always got the cancellation fee as well, which is worth it. And we just book it on Expedia, and then I book all the transport myself as well. Never used a travel agent, not even for Florida. I always do it DIY.
I've got a travel agent, and she's called You.
And she's really good at it.
Her name is You.
You'd recommend her to everyone, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
So what I will say.
Right.
Go on, Chris.
No, just what I will say about Magic Breaks is through all of this stuff, they've been absolutely brilliant. And in rebooking this time, even things like the food package. So we've booked a full board package this time, and they've actually said, look, there's no deals at the moment, but if deals come around, then you can just revise your package. So as soon as anything happens different, they'll just update it, because I guess it's just an email to to Paris to Disneyland Paris to say, this booking's changed. So they've just been really, really good, and it's really easy. So
Magic Breaks.
Yeah.
Magic Breaks. We'll take good care of your package. Right. What's this extra?
I was just quickly. Oh, it's just the ferry from Dover to Calais. That was the extra one.
Right.
I'm quickly just going to go through the 4 things, and in 1 or 2 sentences, I want you to say your pro, your con, and then at the end of it, I'm going to say, so which one would you choose? Is that okay?
Yes.
Right. So, Chris, I know you haven't done this one, but hypothetically, ferry from Hull to Rotterdam.
It's too much boat, so I just wouldn't do it. Too much boat for me.
Right. Fair enough.
Short boat, yes. Calais, yes. That, no.
Okay.
I've got a pro, and that's on the way back. You can stop off for some lovely breakfast in Hull, which we did, didn't we?
We did. Some of our old haunts, though. We know Hull very well.
Some nice bits in Hull, in the old town.
Pros and cons?
Cons for the ferry. If we hadn't got sidetracked and lost in Lille, then I can't really.
Sounds like an ace film, that, Lost in Lille.
Yeah, I can't think of any other than like our own mistake. So
maybe
it was good.
Okay. Eurotunnel. Driving in Eurotunnel, Chris.
So driving onto the train.
Yes. Do you want to go first for this one?
No.
Chris?
I'm just making it clear for the listeners.
It's all pros. All pros for me. It's my preferred way to do this, particularly. How you weigh this up is really difficult, but for me with kids, I'd far rather have them in that controlled environment than having to faff about in an airport, having to deal with changes and all the luggage and everything as well, because everything's in the boot and it's dealt with. So I've actually got time to be able to focus and think about the kids, even though they're just sat watching films in the back of the car. But for me, it's a more, it's a good way of traveling. I like it a lot.
Hugh, pro con?
Pro, you can have a snack in the car as you're making the crossing. It's just nice, just sitting. I've got
a really fond memory of luxury biscuits.
Oh.
Yeah, we took a box of luxury biscuits with us.
Yeah, well, we finished most of them back in the car park of Leeds Castle.
Yeah. It was the best time. That was the best holiday. Eurostar. Have you done this one, Chris? You've done it for work.
I've been on Eurostar. When I went on Eurostar, again, because of the snow, they were restricted with speed, which meant it took a long time. It was so the experience itself in that sense wasn't great, but it's luxury. That's what I like about it. It feels special. Being on those trains, it feels special. The downside I would say is the luggage capacity and stuff is a bit of a pain because it's like being on a train.
I don't think we mentioned when we talk about it. It's an hour and a half.
Yeah.
It's an hour and a half. That's bonkers.
3.5 hours it took me.
I was going to say it'd be longer for you, but an hour and a half, that's the same as flying from Manchester. That's bonkers.
But it's second only to flying for me. I don't mind the lack of luggage space or anything like that. Like, if you can put that aside, then it's and you're getting it direct and it's brilliant.
You do have to
just me and Laura, I'd be all up for it, I think. If it was just the two of us, I think, but then it's the four of us, I think it's a bit more. But
Mark says, aren't you supposed to get HS2 up there in the future?
That's debatable.
Sore subject.
Okay, last one then. Flights.
Well, flying's easy, isn't it? I mean, I know I was downing on it, but it is. Flying is just a very, very easy thing. The con is generally price, although at the moment, obviously, it's probably not. But it would be my first choice if it wasn't for the cost involved.
I forgot to mention there was a bomb threat when I flew to Charleston, when I flew on my own.
I thought you'd not mentioned that.
Yeah. I had 36 kilometres to run that weekend, and I arrived at Charles de Gaulle, Dumpty-Dum, where's the train station is a long way away from where I landed. You have to get like a little tram thing, and then you have to walk. And just when I got towards the train station, the gendarmes had cleared the area because I think there's a suspicious package, as there often is in airports. But we all just stood unable to go anywhere for like a good 20 minutes. And then all of a sudden they let everyone go, and I was late for my train, and I ran. I ran for about 7 or 8 minutes. I must have run a long way, like with a suitcase, proper running.
She ran a quarter of a marathon. on top of all
and
the
then
others
that was just to get to the train station bits. And then when I managed to get my ticket from the ticket machine, I ran the length of the train, which again was really, really long, and I was knackered by the time I got on that train, knowing full well this is how I started my weekend. That's not how you want to start a marathon weekend.
No, not at all.
Anyway,
I think when we flew that time, I'm sure it was like 4 hours door to door.
Yeah, it will have been.
It was great. And one of the biggest delays was just trying to find the taxi driver. And then there's that story of
you went back to get Jesse.
I phoned him and I saw a guy talking into his phone who was like dressed like a taxi driver. And I said, "Oh, it's okay, I can see you." And the guy looked at me and smiled. So I hung up and I walked towards him. And he was looking at me the whole time he walked towards me. And then he went, "It's not me." And I went, "Oh, sorry." And then I had to ring the guy back and say, "Sorry, I thought I was just looking at you." Ridiculous.
Awesome. Can I just say something? In the chat right at the beginning, Mark Q, I think, said that he had a jingle suggestion of Marley and Marley, but with Mark C and Mark Q.
Mark Q and Mark C. Yes.
Right. Yes. Don't you think that they're a little bit like Waldorf and Statler in their contributions in the chat as well? So I think I might have to do that.
Oh dear. Right. So flying. Right. So the last question is, which is your favourite?
Give that away early on, didn't I? Right.
Driving for the cost, flight for convenience, I think.
Right.
Flight.
I would go Eurostar personally.
Okay.
But we've done them all. We'll probably do them all again.
I'm also a little bit of a nervous passenger, so just having that taken away from you and just knowing, you know,
driving?
Not to worry about booze.
She's a very good driver. It's just paranoid.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to wrap that up then, because we've got a quiz to do. You know where to find us, guys. You know the drill. Like, subscribe, give us reviews on iTunes. Oh, Chris has got something he wants to mention.
We need Bob to give his answers.
Bob's answers. Right.
Bob's answers. We'll give Bob's answers.
You almost left us on a cliffhanger there.
I know. No, I'm going to do it. Here's Bob's answers.
I was going to give them.
How did you get on with the quiz? I asked you for the names of various Disney duos. Here we go. Cinderella's stepsisters are Anastasia and Drizella. Ursula's eel henchmen are Flotsam and Jetsam, and the Gabble sisters are Amelia and Abigail Gabble. And the other goose involved was Uncle Waldo. Hope you enjoyed it. Chat again soon. Bye.
Bobbing along, singing our song, Bob, with Bob Sangwell on 37 Disney Street. Bob.
There you go.
Thanks for that, Bob.
We're getting proper heckles now from the two Marks. It's rubbish. Oh,
I love it. Right, guys. So we'll be back here again next week, as we always are. I'm so glad that you can join us, and I love it when people join in the chat as well. It's nice to know that we're making contact, as they say in ET.
And the rest of you lurking, we know you're there.
So I'm going to say good night now. I've been Lucy. You've been great. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Good night, children.